Hello and welcome to a new video. Before I dive into the topic on today's video, I just want to say thank you to all the support for the previous Call of Duty videos. It means a lot to me and I'm happy that you guys are enjoying the content that I make. Also, the Plunder game that I'm playing here was so cool to make. I was playing with two random players and they wanted to get as many kills as possible during this game. Obviously, the aim of the game is to loot and bag as much cash as possible and be the winning team. So I decided to join them, as well as bag any cash which I found either on players or in nearby loot boxes. I think we got something like 30 team wipes, which was crazy to me. These guys were truly insane. We actually ended up killing so many players that we ended up looting a large amount of cash to become first place for a brief moment. Overall, we finished in the top 3, and considering that we were unintentionally getting cash and strictly playing just to get the kills and the team wipes, it's an awesome achievement in itself and really goes to show the way other teams were actually playing the plunder match in our lobby. So, on to today's video. Today I wanted to discuss the Warzone meta. It's been the hot talk with a lot of people and certain discussions have generated lots of different opinions about the meta itself, some loving it while others hating on it. Since this video has been published, Season 2 has been out for almost 3 weeks, and just like all the updates, the weapons can be used in Warzone either get nerfed or overpowered. In this season, the two weapons that are currently overpowered are the AUG and the FFAR. For this reason, lots of players have jumped onto these guns and using them in Warzone to get the better advantage over a lot of players. Which is fair. If I knew a gun was more overpowered than the others, I would try and run that weapon to give myself the best possible chance to win a Warzone game. As a result, these two weapons have become the meta of Warzone. As someone who have encountered players that run these guns on multiple occasions, and won and lost to these players, I can say that I am not a particularly great fan of the meta. The weapons are great, there is no denying that. However, for me, it takes away the fun of the game knowing that you have a weapon that can be able to kill someone with a single burst to the head or even down them with a single burst on the upper torso area. However, the counter argument can stand that these guns are available for everyone to use and therefore can create an even playing field. Before I continue, I just want to appreciate the awesome way I sniped this guy out of the sky as he was parachuting in. Brilliant. Yeah, I'm still learning to snipe well in Warzone, so it's a big thing for me. Where was I again? Oh yeah, the meta. The fact of the matter is, someone shouldn't be forced to use certain weapons just to have a fair advantage over their opponent. If anything, the choice of selecting a weapon that is not part of the meta should logically increase the player's skill and tactical mindset. They know they are up against overpowered guns, and therefore should play accordingly. As this tactical game style becomes a more prominent move for them, they will quickly adapt to a better game style, making them more advantageous and quicker to react. Personally, I like a challenge. That's why I go for the M4 setup with Overkill and the Grau setup with Ghost. You can check out how I fare with these weapons in Warzone from the box on the top right hand corner of the video. Although these weapons may not be the meta, they still do deliver a deadly power that could make the difference between winning and losing the Warzone game. The M4 more than the Grau, and I have even won Warzone games with both these weapons. To truly understand the meta and how well it functions, I decided to try both of these weapons. I slotted the Al Raqqa variant of the AUG or AUG just to see what the hype was about, and I liked how fast it was and how powerful it was. Just to provide a slightly even playing field to other players in my Warzone lobby, I kept the weapon with a 25 round mag and added loads of attachments that kept it stable and controlled. The results pretty much spoke for themselves. The bottom line is that the meta will move on to other weapons. Before Season 2 update, the Grau was an immensely overrated weapon. So was the Kilo 141, as well as the Bruin Mark 9. However, some of these guns haven't lost their flair just yet and are still capable of competing against the meta guns of today. The main thing is that you should always choose weapons you are comfortable with. If you prefer the AUG because of its power, that's absolutely fine. If you prefer the Grau or M4 or even the sniper rifles in Warzone, that's perfectly normal as well. At the beginning of this update in February, I was still rocking the MP5 SMG, purely because it felt right for me to use, and it delivered just as much of a damage output as before. At the end of the day, playing Call of Duty with friends in Warzone should be an enjoyable experience, not a chore to outdo the meta, even though we kind of have to go through that every once in a while. Other weapons such as the AS Val, which is recorded to have the fastest TTK, or time to kill, leaves opponents to deal with a gun that has a rapid fire rate as well as accuracy that can be potentially unmatched for other weapons in its class. However, this weapon has been balanced by the developers at Infinity Ward by including two formats of ammunition. The first is a magazine capacity of 30 rounds, and another with a 10 round capacity that has a higher damage but limits the amount of shots fired. Therefore, the player of this weapon is left with a dilemma. Do you use the highest TTK weapon of the game, but endure a low magazine capacity compared to the likes of an AN94, the CR56 AMAX, or the AK-47? Or do you sacrifice the TTK and go for something that can pick you up on the rebound with a 50 or 60 round magazine if some critical shots are missed? That is entirely dependent on the player and their preferences. It's a very interesting discussion to have with your friends. Leave a comment down below telling me what you think about the meta. Let's talk about it. Do you think it's great that it offers power to different weapons that would have otherwise not been touched with a barge pole? Or do you think it's an awful way for experienced/inexperienced players to cause carnage in Warzone and diminish anyone else's chance of grabbing the win in Warzone? Until the next Warzone update, we can never be certain what the next weapon in the meta will be. However, what we can try to do is find out different weapons and get a feel for what each gun is like to use on a daily basis. Soon enough, if a majority of people choose another weapon, that too would soon become the meta, which will then provide a more even playing field. My discussion about the meta has been short, but that is all I have to say about it. I do not want to bore you with constant opinion, but rather provide a perspective from someone that has tried the guns but chooses the other assault rifles or tactical weapons to use instead. Please enjoy the rest of the gameplay.
That's it. Back at it.
Turn it up.